guys, thanks for coming to check out today's video. So this video is about some new hair that I did receive from Sam's Beauty. So thank you, Sam's Beauty, for sending over this new hair, and let's go ahead and get started with this braiding pattern. So the braiding pattern that I'm going to use today is a little different. It was my first time using it and it's a little complicated, so I'm going to try my best to explain it to you guys. So the first thing I did was section off a small, probably like 1 inch section in the front of my head from ear to ear. You want this to be like the size of one box braid, like that's the width that you want it. I put a part in the middle of my head and then I sectioned off the first box braid size square. So you're going to do 6 squares in the front and you're going to braid them almost like half the way down. So I added my Pretty Strands hair growth oil. That oil is amazing and has really been reparative and restorative for my hair. I would definitely recommend it. You can find a link to grab you some of that oil on my Amazon store, where I recommend all my favorite products. I recommend everything from the camera and the lights that I use to my favorite hair care products and all types of stuff like that. So go ahead and braid those box braids down and braid them to about halfway. Once you do that, you're going to go ahead and section off another section directly behind those braids that you just created. You're going to create 3 more box braids. So what you want to do is stagger them. You don't want the box braids that you create behind those to be in the same exact place, because if you were doing actual box braids, they wouldn't be in the same space. They would be like sort of like windows in between. I hope that makes sense, but you'll see that like I'm putting the braids in between where the first row of braids was. Hopefully that makes sense, because basically what you're trying to do is create an illusion that you have done individual dreads as opposed to just straight back cornrows of dreads, and then you'll be able to easily clock the cornrows, and I don't like that. I like for my dreads and my crochets to look like there are boxes of parts in my head, and then the dreads are hanging from that. So the next step is to incorporate the front row of braids, box braids, into the second row of box braids. So you're going to pull the box braid from the front into the box braid in the back and braid those two together. Now you will see that the braid is crossing over that line of the parting space, but it'll be harder to tell that it's there once the dreads are hanging down. So it'll kind of disguise that box braid being braided and incorporated into the braid behind it. And once you've done all that, you just want to go ahead and cornrow your hair as normal, just in straight back cornrows, and connect the ends of the braids together in the back. I have 3 different colors of braids. I have a ombre color, I have a 1B, and I have a 613. I'll leave the colors all down in the information box, and where you can purchase this hair from Sam's Beauty in the information box down below. I really like these dreads. They're really thick, but they're still very light and fluffy and bouncy. They're not heavy at all. I like the packaging that they came in. They're really clean and really pretty, and they look very natural. It's like if somebody has really thick hair, that's the type of dreads that they will have. And I think it's really pretty, and I like all these colors together. So I just wanted to give you guys one more look at this braid pattern. Hopefully it's pretty self-explanatory. As I said, there's 2 rows of box braids. There's the front row and the second row. The front row of box braids has to be incorporated into the second row. The second row of box braids is a little off-centered from the front row, so that it gives that illusion of all the different boxes in your head. Now the only thing that I would have done differently about this is the box braid all the way on the side. I did pull that braid down too low to that bottom cornrow. I should have put it in the cornrow right behind it. So the next time I do this braid pattern, I definitely will correct that one cornrow right there, that one box braid right there. That's like stretched too far, because that was very obvious. But that's really the only thing I didn't like about this braid pattern. I think this braid pattern is really dope. And when I work out all the kinks, I think it'll work out really, really well, because I was pleased with the outcome in the end. So then when you go ahead and install the hair, you just crochet as normal. There's no need for me to explain to you guys how to crochet. There's a million videos out here about that. But I do want to explain to you the specific differences about this particular dreads. When you are crocheting these dreads in, you want to make sure that you're not pulling on the ends of the dreads. The ends of the dreads are very, very thick, and they're sort of like molded together, and it's very firm. So if you pull on the ends, it does distort the shape of the ends of the dread, if that makes sense. The top and like the middle of the dreads is very springy, bouncy, and fluffy, but the ends are very, very thick. So when you're pulling the ends of the dread through the crochet loop, make sure you don't pull the ends very hard, because it will distort the shape. Now for me, it didn't matter, because I knew I was going to cut these dreads and trim them into a cropped bob. But if you want to leave them the full 12 inches, you will need to make sure that you're not distorting the ends of the dreads. So as I said before, I did use 3 different colors. I used an ombre 27 color, I used a 1B, and I used a 613 color. The 613 was really just for a peekaboo highlight. I only used one of the dreads out of the pack of 613. As far as how many packs I used, I did receive 6 packs of hair. I received 4 packs of black, I received 2 packs of ombre, and 1 pack of 613. And yeah, I used everything from the 1B. I used almost everything from the ombre, and I only used 1 from the 613. So this is the end result, as you can see. But when I went ahead and looked at it, as I said before, it just wasn't the right length. It was much longer than what I wanted. So I went ahead and grabbed my scissors and cropped the hair. Now these dreads are very thick at the end, so I would suggest getting like a strong pair of scissors or a sharp pair of scissors. Anything less than that, you will not be able to cut these dreads, because this hair is pretty thick right at the ends. And when you cut it, it does shed a lot. So when you cut it, I would suggest kind of like shaking them off, or like dusting them off, having something around you, because that hair got everywhere. But overall, I really, really love this hair. I think this hair is gorgeous, and you should absolutely check it out if you've been considering getting you some faux locks. These are probably my favorite ones so far, aside from the Bobbi Boss Bombo locks. So yeah, I just threw on some makeup, and I went ahead and wanted to show you guys all the different ways you can part it, how natural it looks, and how pretty it came out. If you guys have questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. If you have any suggestions on how I can make this style better or make this braid pattern better, definitely leave them down there, because I will be doing this again. I think it came out great, but I definitely have some improvements that I want to make. Check out Sam's Beauty and Sensational for this hair. Make sure you're following this channel, you subscribe, like, and share with a friend. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.